Hey guys, it's Blair, the Love Guru. Today is Monday, January 26, 2026, and welcome to the New World Order. Or shall I say, reporting live from the New World Order. And what exactly does that mean these days? What exactly does that look like? Well, it looks like if you're on the East Coast, or I guess this kind of hit everywhere, or a lot of different places in America, if you were hit by this massive storm of 2026, well, the way that this looks is like this is your third day being at home, being stuck in home, being at home with the curtains closed. So you're in like total darkness because if you open the curtains, it gets too cold in your house. So you don't want that to happen. What else does that look like? It looks like you hoping that your electricity stays on, and more so hoping that your heat stays on because it's like fucking 10 degrees outside, which I don't think I've ever seen in my lifetime. Um, it's making sure you have enough food. It's sitting in front of certain special lighting that you have to make sure that you're nourishing your soul, your health, so you stay healthy. It's doing everything inside. It's sort of like living like this mole person. I think that's what we used to call them. In New York, supposedly, there's these people who live down in the subway, and I think we call them the mole people. It sort of feels like that a little bit. You're kind of just in this dark cave with artificial light all day long, hoping this ends sometime soon. But this is just if you're, I think this is just a situation if you're just an awake person. And, because like the bigger extent of what's going on here. And, I looked at what the weather's going to be for the next week or so, and it looks like it's going to be pretty consistent. 8 degrees, 7 degrees, 4 degrees, 3 degrees. And of course, they say that the high is going to be like 20 degrees. I'm not going outside. No one's going outside. But yet, let's flip to the sheep. The sheep are going outside. What are they going outside for, Blair? Well, good. I'm glad that you asked. Apparently, there was an FF that happened a few days ago where this guy, Alex Pretti, was murdered by an ICE agent. At least this is what the news says. This is what the news footage shows. The sheep are gathered around the YouTube and their TV, and they're analyzing the footage so that they came up with these conclusions. Look, at Alex was just carrying his gun, and this ICE officer murdered him. Let's roll back the tape. Yep, definitely carrying it. He wasn't walking around with it. He wasn't threatening the ICE protest or the ICE guy or whoever. I have not looked at this footage. Why? Why, Blair? Again, another excellent question. I'll answer that for you. Don't worry. I'll also say that I have not read any articles about it either. And you might say, well, why, Blair? Why are you not reading the current news stories? Well, one, I'm gonna really ask you, is this really news? Oh, come on, Blair. He was killed. Okay. This is a radio show for awake people. Okay? This is for those who know what it is, and it was an FF. And when we know that it's an FF, or we can say a PSYOP, when we know it's one of these things, let me ask you something. So I'm going to answer this question, the two questions that you just had. I'm going to answer it with another question. And that question is as follows. If you know something is a PSYOP, do you really need to go down whatever rabbit holes or get wrapped up in the emotions of the sheepies if you know it's not what it's presented as? Do you really need to analyze everything that's going on, or have you come to the level of consciousness that you're like, hey, there's bigger fish to fry? Hey, something inside of my soul is saying there's other things for me to take care of here on earth, rather than, like a sheeper, watching every single psyop that goes on, talking about it. The only reason why I know about this is because, one, several days ago, which I guess is when this took place, I was pretty sure I heard some Muppets outside my house protesting. And I was like, this can't be for real. But I was like, and I've told you guys before, I live in the middle of a city. Not a good city like New York City, because that would be the choice. If Spirit was saying to me, hey, Blair, I know you came out to I know you moved to Pennsylvania to be in the country and off grid. But no, we're going to move you to the city. And if Spirit said to me, like, hey, Blair, choose this, we're going to put you in a city because you know what? This is your mission. You're a teacher of the New World Order. You're a teacher of truth. You're a deprogrammer. And hey, Blair, we know you love the country. We know you liked being off grid. We know you like being around cows and horses and sheep. We know you fucking loved it. Right? There was no EMFs in my house. I was cooking all the time. I was taking baths every night. I was sleeping really well. I went to sleep early. I was living like the fucking Amish. And I liked it, except there was no community out there. And there is a level of weirdness going on out there. It's a different culture out in the country. You have different personalities out there. So really, it was a mixed bag. I liked it. But, you're kind of isolated out there. And, you're really getting a course on survivalism, right? As in, you're doing it all the fuck yourself, right? Because you have neighbors. Everyone comes to help you out. But at the end of the day, that's just you, yourself, and I in the big house dealing with, I don't know, we were having tornado warnings? What? I've never heard of such a thing coming from New York, New Jersey, and even living in South Florida. I've never heard of tornado warnings. I moved to Pennsylvania, was out in the country, and like every other day, it was like tornado warnings. So, all right, I digress. But, Spirit, my soul was like, hey, Blair, we're going to move you back into the city. We're going to move you around from one Pennsylvania city to another Pennsylvania city so you can really see the brainwashing. You can see how far the New World Order has advanced here. You thought you were moving out of Jersey to go to a place where the New World Order hadn't advanced as much. But hey, surprise, surprise, Blair, they're actually more advanced here. They're actually further along here. And that's the little cosmic joke that you get to experience, right? Which I was very pissed about it. But, okay, we're over it. We've healed that. So, yeah, then if Spirit was like, hey, Blair, we're going to move you into the city because we want you to understand the level of sheepdom going on. We want you to understand how these people act. So if you think if maybe it was a little bit kinder, Spirit was maybe a little bit kinder. I don't know. I'm over that now. But I would say, if they gave me a choice of cities, hey, which woke city would you like to be in, Blair? I would say, let me just go back and live back. Let me just live back in Manhattan again. I'll just go back there. Okay? But they didn't give me a choice. And instead, again, one fucking crazy city after the next in Pennsylvania. And guess what I got to learn? It's a different world here. It's like I literally moved to a different country. I can't explain it any further. I mean, I could, but we're not going to use this time to do it. I've written books about it. They're not out yet. They're coming out. It's called My Homeless Journey Freedom Experience, something. I don't know. We might rename that book. But you get to hear about the story of how spirit bounced me around from one cuckoo city to the next in Pennsylvania. So back to what was happening the other day. I'm hearing people outside protesting, and I'm like, I don't know, this can't be right because it's fucking 5 degrees outside. Do you know how cold 5 degrees is? Well, if you experience this storm, then maybe now you know, or you could just assume how fucking cold it is. But I'm sorry, you have to have some level of mental illness to be outside protesting when it's snowing, when it's freezing, when literally no one else is out, and your cuckoo ass is protesting over this dude, Alex Pretti. So I heard this shit a couple days ago. Now, I didn't know it was Alex Pretti. I was just like, I don't know, Blair. It sounds like a protest. You might be hearing something incorrect because I'm looking out the windows and I don't see anyone because why the fuck would anyone be outside? But apparently, so then it was like 2 days later. So we're talking about like yesterday. I'm part of this like writing community because in case you don't know, I'm getting my book ready that I wrote during COVID, which is called The Rise of the Lightworkers, When You Know It's Your Time. And it talks about, like, it's all related to what's going on now because I wrote it during COVID, Con-19. And little did I know, but spirit and my soul was preparing me to step into a leadership role now to help the rest of you guys step up to a higher level of consciousness and to help you step in to doing your mission at this time, or at least prepare more, prepare at a faster rate to be doing your mission now, because it's time for those of us who have done our inner work, have healed our mental, emotional, and childhood wounds in all the ways we've been programmed, to step into leadership roles. Because this is the, quote, new earth that we're entering into. And I'm sorry, if you are one of the awake sheep, okay, because that's definitely possible. Truthers who are awake or claim they're awake or think that they're awake, but they're still sheeping along. So really, you're just a sheep in a different outfit. You're just a sheep in different clothing. Okay? So the thing is that if you're this type of sheep and you're watching every psyop go on and you're watching the footage of people protesting or the fights going on with people blowing their fucking whistles at ICE people, who came up with that? Blowing whistles at these ICE people? I don't like I guess they're officers. It's weird. It's just fucking weird. But there's a lot of footage of, quote, awake people watching these protesters go against these ICE people. And is this how you're spending your time? Are you paying attention to this? Now, granted, so let me go back to finish this writing. So I'm part of this writing community. And because I'm getting my book ready and it's on pre-order now. I'm very excited about it. You can find it at loveguru.net/books. I'm still sorting out the book description, so it's a little bit messy on that page right now. There's a lot of information in this book because I'm covering, like, I have like sort of diary style posts that I wrote during COVID and how spirit was guiding me during that time, certain energy exercises, so that I was able to step into more of my power because I felt the call to rise at that time. So it's these diary style posts, and then it alternates with these teaching chapters that I'm sharing with you, these things related to like now, how to deal with your emotions, how to deal with your anger and your frustration and your sadness and your fear maybe about what's going on. Maybe if you were affected by this storm, you had some fear come up, some anxiety. Oh shit, I'm going to be inside for like the next week or 2 weeks. Because that's what they're doing here. They don't want you out. They don't want you traveling. They don't want you getting sun. So whoever stocked up, ran out. I was seeing these like huge lines in New York, in Manhattan, that it was like people were lined up again in the freezing weather down the street, just standing there waiting, trying to get into the supermarket. Which, by the way, I do have a lot of audios to help you. If you want to get educated and empowered and deprogrammed and involved, well, I have a lot of audios that you could instantly download to help you at thealiennetwork.com/toolkit. And one of them is prepping, protection, and survival for spiritual people who like to stay positive. Look, if you're clueless and you have no fucking clue what is going on, do you think that on one end of the country, America, I'm talking about, America the Great, USA, America the Great, do you think that on one side of the country is randomly getting hit by a storm, and then the other part of the country is having this Alex Pretti getting shot by ice? And then what? I don't know. Is the West Coast being hit by fires now? I don't know if this is up. What's going on the West Coast there? But I did look it up. And we do see that there have been some sheep protests going on in San Francisco and LA and Wisconsin, bunch of places in Wisconsin, in Washington, and Minnesota. Well, yeah, I mean, that's where the shooting happened, right? All these protests of the sheepy gathered in the freezing cold. Do you think that these things are just randomly happening? Right? Where are you using your energy? Are you using your energy to get prepared to do your mission? To make a positive difference in this world? Or are you a sheep that is chasing your tail? Because people are protesting and they think that they're making a difference here, but they're just chasing their tail. So let's go back to that story. I'm sorry, but we keep swinging it around. I know I go on little tangents. That's just the way that's the way we do it here. So the only reason why I knew about this Alex Pretti thing was because in this writing community I'm part of, someone was like, hey, I'm so pissed about this Alex Pretti thing. Can someone please help fix my note to the editor? Because I really want to be in the sheepy media and I want to voice my opinion, my outrage. I'm just steaming at this. So I gave them some tips because I've received a lot of press over the years. Over 100 media outlets worldwide I have been featured in. So I have experience writing press releases, teaching people how to get press. I have, and I've worked in the media. So I have experience with that. So I was like, okay, we'll help little sheepy out. But fine. It wasn't even really like that. I was just like, I saw that they were in pain. They were upset. They want to make a difference. I support people who want to make a difference, but you're being manipulated by the media. You're being manipulated by the news. But fine, if this is what you need to follow for a bit, the person was very grateful. They updated their letter. I helped them make it really snazzy so that they can get published. And good. Maybe they submitted that, and then maybe they went out to a protest out in 10 degrees weather. I mean, it looks like there were protests in New York City and Washington, D.C., and Chicago, anti-ICE protests. And whatever. You know, you guys do what you want. I'm actually looking at the weather again, and I'm sorry, I stand corrected. It's not like 10 or 12 degrees. It's minus 13 degrees. I want to share with you my phone number. This is the number for the show, 917-818-2598. If you would like to share your experience of what you're going through now, the thoughts that you're having, or you have a question for me, feel free to call that number and leave a message. 917-818-2598. Let me hear from you. Let me hear what your experience is at this time. You know, where are you? That's my question to you today. Where are you guys putting your energy? So at PS, once I realized that this Alex Pretti psyop was going on and all the sheep were very upset about it, I realized that yes, indeed, I did hear a protest the other day. Yes, indeed, the sheepy in my area were outside protesting in the 10 degrees weather or whatever it was at that time. And this is the world we're living in. So you can continue. Well, let me share some other resources for you, some other audios. I have How to Stay Out of People's Fear and Other Emotions when you're a sensitive person. That's very important. You need to learn these skills at this time. Love Guru, that's the aliennetwork.com/toolkit. You also might be having some experiences that you're like, dude, I can't do this on my own. I need to have a partner who's awake also. I just made a broadcast about that the other day. You know, maybe your partner is sheeping around and you can't stand their ass anymore and you need to get someone new in your life. Or if you're single and ready to mingle, but you don't want to mingle with no sheep, well, I have a guide to help you. Dating, mating, and procreating in the new world. Again, you can find that at thealiennetwork.com/toolkit. So if you have not done your inner work during COVID or before then or in between then and now, it's time to get on it. If you want to survive in the New World Order. I don't know if you've noticed, but things have gotten more intense. All right? You probably need to be a total retard if you haven't noticed that. So what's going to get you out of that dilemma, out of that stress that you're having? I'll tell you, the way is in. Freedom is within. You don't get it by going without and protesting or making videos trying to wake people up. Who the fuck cares? We're in the final hours of this, should I say, simulation? I don't want to get too advanced on your ass. Not today. If you do want that, I do have that on the aliennetwork.com/toolkit. Lots of audios about the Matrix, about the simulation we're living in. But you know, this is going to go on for a while. So you're going to have to decide, where are you putting your energy? Are you going to keep watching the sheep and or making videos or posting on social media about all the crazy crap going on? Or are you going to say, hey, I'm going to start investing in myself. I'm going to start investing in my mission, and I'm going to rise as the warrior that I was born to be. That I'm going to rise as the powerful leader I was born to be. Well, that shit doesn't just happen overnight. You have to prepare yourself. You have to work on yourself. You have to like really want it and do things to support you getting there. And I'll tell you just a little spoiler alert. It's not that easy because you're confronting all your fears, all your limiting beliefs, all your sabotaging behaviors, all your fucked up programming that you received this whole lifetime, your childhood wounds. You're going to have to clear through all of that so you can be this powerful warrior that's able to guide and lead others. And that's what's needed in this world. That's my mission, to help those of you guys step and rise into power. And that's the work I do through my freedom activist classes. If you want to gather a group and learn with other people, loveguru.net // freedom, or learn on your own on the aliennetwork.com. You know, this is your time to rise. Or is it not? Is it your time to just fade to black and do nothing and scroll on your phone and fuck around and talk about these sheep out on the street protesting stupid nonsense? Or spend your time trying to wake people up or warn people about what's to come? I'm sorry, it's too late for that. If they're not awake right now, they're not awake, and you got to keep it moving forward. Feel free to give me a call, leave your question or comment, 917-818-2598. Thanks for being here. Speak to you next time. Bye-bye.